Welcome again to Tuska Forum. Our second guest tonight is Freddy Lim, Taiwan's ambassador to Finland. A big hand to Freddy Lim. First off, let me just remind you all that you can put in questions for him for the question and answer session at the end of this program by using the QR code that you see behind me. And I will get them on my phone. These are the marvels of modern technology. So, Freddy Lim, Taiwan's ambassador to Finland, you're also the vocalist of the award-winning metal band CHTHONIC, which has played festivals in Europe such as Wacken and Download. Lim has been a member of the Taiwanese parliament and as a human rights activist, the chairman of Amnesty International in Taiwan. He has a long relationship with Finland and Finnish bands and musicians. Welcome, sir, to Tuska. A massive pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you, Jussi, and thank you all. Actually, I just shared with Jussi that I can't recall the last time I was speaking in a festival rather than playing a show. Because I even playing shows sometimes because my background reminds the organizers of the festivals that they might want me to share some ideas in their forums or in some festivals in Asia. We call it like NGO village, human rights village. There are conferences in the festivals as well, but I always refuse to entertain myself in that way. I try to have fun in festivals. I'm drinking now, so I always try to divide myself from sharing ideas and playing gigs. I'm sharing ideas in the serious events, and I playing gigs, have fun in festivals. But today, this is really something for me that I'm sharing ideas here. And I used to think that who will attend this kind of event, you know? So
well, they do.
So I appreciate so much that there are so many people here. Thank you so much. And so I feel so connected to Finland. Like Jussi just shared with you that more than around 10 to 20 years ago, we have been so close with so many Finnish bands. We toured with Teresa's, Gobliklani, Ensiferum. They are playing now. I was so wanted to be there to say hi to them. And I think it was in 2008 we were signed by your legendary label called Spine Farm.
Yes, Spine Farm, who had a...
So...
Let's switch the microphone. Spine Farm, which had a critical role in lifting Finnish metal music to international arenas.
So they released our 3 albums in that period. So for me, I feel so connected to this capital of metal so much. But like in 2015, I decided to switch my path and get involved in the politics. And then 2 years ago, I decided to not run for my 3rd term as a parliamentarian. So I decided to retire. I thought that I will start to write songs, but I got the appointment asking from our president office, asking if you want to go to Finland.
So I thought this would have been your initiative, that you want to come to Finland, the capital of metal, but it was the president of Taiwan.
I think that when I left the parliament, when I left Taiwanese parliament, the president asked me, what do you want to do after this? And I said, because I was in the Foreign Affairs Committee for 8 years, for 2 terms. So I was just saying that maybe something related to international affairs. And I didn't really take it serious because president is asking, you cannot give him nothing. So I was just saying. And then, but someday, Finland come up on the table. This is so interesting. I feel reconnected to Finland again. I feel so deeply connected to Finland. I started listening to Sentenced, Amorphis, Children of Bodom. So yeah, this is really something, and the president, he doesn't even know that Finland is the capital of metal. So for me, it's so interesting, and I feel so warmed and so connected to Finland, and to come back again last year, and now I stay here for 1 year. I love Finland. Thank you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. So you've been a musician first, still are, then a human rights activist, then a politician. Now you're an ambassador to Finland. How is your time divided between your various activities nowadays?
Officially speaking, I'm the ambassador to Finland. Of course, democracy occupies most of my time, but not only in the weekends. I think almost every evening I'm trying to chase my members in Taiwan, asking, because we are switching map files, writing songs, writing new materials. So I'm trying to ask them that, trying to be that pushing like I'm still in Taiwan, asking our guitarist, Jesse, where is the new riff? I just send you all the melodies and the material. Yeah, you have to come back, send something back to me. So I think writing is still very important for me, and I believe that we will have something new coming out. Actually, I don't know if I can. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, but I try to keep writing songs, and especially after what I have been through in the politics and in the at the forefront serving for Taiwan, I think there are more things in my veins, in my souls that I want to express. So yeah, writing definitely is something help me.
So you decided to get actively involved in politics around 2015. You were a human rights activist in Taiwan prior to that, and you were soon elected to parliament. Please describe that period in Taiwan. It was an important time. Maybe not everyone here is so aware of the period.
Yeah, I think that period of time, how Taiwan reflected ourselves, must be very, that kind of discussions must be very familiar for you. During that period, there were so many movements, and one of the most important movement called Sunflower Movement, which hundreds of thousands of people supported the occupation of our parliament to stop, to oppose the government to sign a deeper agreement with China, which will lead Taiwan to depend on China even more. So for your reference, back then, Taiwan's outward investment, more than 80% of Taiwan's outward investment went to China. So you can see how deeply dependent on China Taiwan was. So with that agreement, if that agreement was signed, we were further dependent on a neighbor, an authoritarian neighbor who is hostile toward Taiwan. So that at that moment, those years, Taiwanese started to think, is that the future we want? To depend on a country who is so hateful toward Taiwan, and or we have to we have to chart our own path. So there was debates, and there were a lot of movements try to stop the government to do certain things. And so in 2015, many people, especially those young generations, decided to get involved in the politics or in social affairs more, to show the voices of people. And many people run for local officials, or some of them run for the parliament. I'm one of them. So the district that I ran for, that district was represented by a pro-China political faction for almost 20 years. So when I decided to run for the parliament in that district, nobody thought that I could win over the previous one. But I won. And he came back 4 years later, and then I won again. So I got reelected. And so for me, I think that's a historic moment. I believe that kind of debates not only important in Taiwan, but also it happened here in all the forefront countries. Would always, like after I got here, I just learned that how you experience, how you strengthen your energy resilience. You don't want to depend on Russia anymore that much like before. So that's very similar what we was 10 years ago, what we were discussed about. But how we can stop the government to do the opposite? The thing is that the people from different sectors in the society decided to run for the parliament or the office. So that's when I decided to do, and it pissed our band members off.
It pissed your band members off. Well, this kind of leads to my next question. Then, your political career and activism, has it limited or strengthened your artistic creativity, in your opinion? Not your band members' opinion, your opinion.
I think at that point, the band, because we have kept touring for almost 10 years, so the band was kind of very tired. I think we had an agreement that we don't want to be on road for more than 2 weeks anymore. So we better play some shows in some big cities and then we go home. And we don't want to stay with each other for 24 hours a day anymore. We are not family. But actually all those constant tours lead us become family. Actually, we are very close. And so at that point, I feel like, oh, okay, there's a space that I can do something else. So I politely asked them, I will follow my activist friends to run for the parliament. Is that okay? And they were forced, or they were kind of say, okay, if that's you want. But actually, they actually came to help me during the campaign. So it was very sweet. They were very sweet. And then I think all the what I have experienced during the political fields also helped us to strengthen the creativity, the artistic inspirations as well. I think even my closest, the guitarist Jesse is the key songwriter with me. Two of us, we work very closely together. So we all found that over the past few years, because metal is a music carries strong emotions, and politics definitely poses you in a harsh environment with the difficult debates, with the painful failures. Yeah, there are a lot of very extreme emotions, experiences happening through those years, and I thank God that I'm capable of writing music to express that kind of things. So during those years, even those songs didn't, because after I decided to run for the parliament, we didn't continue with Spy Farm anymore. We decided to stay low-key, and if we have some songs we released only in Taiwan, but those songs released only in Taiwan can reflect many different, richer and layered aspects of our spirit. So I believe that this experience strengthened our artistic inspiration and our writing skills.
So during your tenure in the parliament, you were writing more directly to the Taiwanese people, not an international audience. Yeah.
Right, and we just played shows once in a while, and as I can recall, we only play in Taiwan a couple times and Japan only, so we don't tour. That's why my band members hate me. They say no more than 2 weeks, but not more than 8 years.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, in general, does music still have the power to be a force for political resistance and change?
Yeah, especially after what I have experienced over the past few years, I learned more that artists are capable of doing a lot of things that politicians cannot. Although during the 8 years in the parliament, I helped advancing many causes in the parliament that like we passed the same-sex marriage, make Taiwan be the first Asian country to legalize same-sex marriage. And there are so many important causes that we have taken part over these couple of years. But I think artists know better than politicians that sometimes political reforms doesn't mean the end of movement. Because after, for instance, like what I just said, that after we legalized same-sex marriage in 2019, it doesn't mean that it's a perfect world in Taiwan already, because there are same-sex couples have to encounter this discrimination from time to time. So the culturally reform is more important, and that's not politics cannot do. That's art can do, because politics mostly tries to tell people what's the right thing. But I think art inspire people to learn why it matters. Yeah, and to learn and I think art encouraged people to keep moving forward. So it's not about reform political systems. It's more about how you make the society better. So I do believe during those years in parliament, in the political field, I always share with my colleagues that the society is not that simple as you think. There are a lot of things we have to do outside of politics. So I cherish, I think this is, even myself, I think I was inspired by so many metal bands to take action. It's not about that the bands that I loved tell me what to do. No, like I'm a diehard, I'm a hardcore Anthrax fan, Megadeth fan. So that's why I asked you to put me today. And
but early enough so you can attend the show.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm dedicated to so many metal bands, but not about how they tell what they tell me to do. It's more about how they encourage me to think deeper, and to hold on to your beliefs. I think that's something make me want to do more things. Especially I learn from like bands like Rage Against Machine, System of a Down. They take action in their movements as well. And I decided to take my own action in my movements. So I believe that the music we are creating right now will inspire our next generation, our future movements, definitely. So that's I'm so cherished that I can still write music.
Yes, that's something that politics doesn't do. Yeah, it's part of the culture. So in the band CHTHONIC, your lyrics draw from Taiwanese culture, history and mythology, and they're also political. Has your band experienced censorship or been banned from performing anywhere?
Yeah, I think in the early years, because we were formed in mid-90s, and that was the transitional time that Taiwan was becoming a democracy. So even like what I said, the political system has become a democratic system, but the society still remained the legacy of authoritarian rule. So in different parts of the society try to shut our mouth. So we were troubled by government officials during outdoor performances, and I received phone calls from journalists at some big media outlets to ask us to keep our mouth shut. And yeah, and that kind of different forms of harassment in the early years, like in late 90s. But like in this this century, Taiwan became a full democracy, and the society embraced freedom more broadly. So this kind of harassment got less common. But then I encountered the harassment from the individuals associated with the Chinese regime, with the Chinese Communist Party, with China. So during like I said, around 10 to 20 years ago, that when we were touring a lot, I believe that's occasionally we got emails from threatening emails from so-called associates with China that asking us to cancel our show. I believe that that was when we toured with Arch Enemy. We got a very tense email asking that they will kill us if we got on stage, something like that. So our tour manager asked if we want to stop the show, if we want to cancel the show. And I can see that it's not just because we are Taiwanese, of course we support Taiwan, but we were also outspoken for those people who under oppression, like Tibetans, the people from Hong Kong, and Uyghurs, and those neighboring countries in our region that those regimes controlled by China. So we support those oppressed peoples. I believe that's why they really want us to shut up. And but in the same time, there are so many regular Asians, not metalheads, come to the show, didn't buy tickets, but they come to the backstage, provided foods, like Tibetans, Hong Kong people, Uyghurs. They're definitely not metalheads. It doesn't mean that there is no metalheads in Tibet or Hong Kong, but I can see that they are not metalheads, but they really want to show their appreciation, so they come with food, they come with small gifts to us. They were waiting outside of the backstage. So we never consider canceling our shows because we see that how important our music and our existence symbolize to those oppressed people. So for us, I think what we did was to discuss with our manager how we strengthen, how we enhance the security. But in the other hand, members all know that we have to work harder on our music because we know it carries very strong, meaningful message for those even not metalhead.
So was there ever a point when you realized that this is happening and you are being harassed and there are these threats and maybe limits to what you can do and where you can play because of what you were saying, and then you just had to decide, we'll do it anyway? Or was it clear from the first step that you knew that this would happen? Or was there a point when you had to really think about it, like, okay, this is happening, we are being harassed? Was there a discussion?
Doris is there. I just saw her. She is our bassist, and actually she's acting manager because, she's the boss in the band. Then what I have to point it her, I think that was the point that Doris shared the email with the members about the harassment. And I think I was kind of, I think that was the time I felt a physical harassment when we got threatening emails from the so-called Chinese associate, because those kind of harassments before, it's just like by phone calls, ask you to keep your mouth shut, or harassed by the government officials saying that, stop the concerts, that kind of things. But Doris was the one who got the email from, forwarded the email from our manager saying that they will kill us if you go on the stage. And you can see that some of the, I don't know if you know that the Czech Republic's speaker in the parliament was poisoned by the Chinese diplomat. So we really don't know what will happen in the show. So when Doris shared with the members, I think I was the weak one, thinking that do we want to change the plan? Do we want to do something for it? And Doris was the one saying that, we have to talk how to strengthen the security. And we just, the show must go on.
And this was around when?
Around 2009? I think 2009 or 2011,
That sounds very, very hard, and mostly appreciated that you kept on doing the important work. So, yes. a brief detour to another topic, the metal scene in Taiwan. I have a friend who's lived there, so I've learned from him that it's quite a bit smaller than in Finland. But maybe because of that, I've heard that the metal gigs that you have there, the few, are quite intense. Is this the case? Could you describe the scene a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, we start with the metal scene. Yeah, the metal scene itself is very small, and so because it's a let's say it's a out of control scene because you don't have that kind of signs in the USA saying that no body surfing or sometimes no what's the no karate, no that there's no hardcore dance. I don't know if you know that there that kind of signs in the U.S. and we don't. There's no rules in Taiwanese metal scene because nobody knows what the rule is outside of Taiwan. But I think the metalheads in Taiwan they are very kind. So even if somebody is fall down, somebody is being kicked, and others will try to support him and try to make peace of everybody and try to make sure that things going well. Yeah, not go to the opposite. Not nobody is hurt. And that's just a metal scene. But I think there is one interesting part of the scene that I really want to share with you is that actually the Taiwanese metal scene is blended into a bigger family called indie music scene or original music scene. Metal is being considered as a member of the big family. I think that's one of the reasons is in the 90s when during the final phase of Taiwanese democratic movement, many bands, artists, musicians also took part in the movement to establish a music scene, embrace creative freedom. And metal bands, rock bands play a role in that movement as well. So I believe that since then, metal has been considered as a part of a bigger the so-called original music scene. And then so even metal scene itself is smaller, but you always can see metal bands playing in a big festival that featuring a wide range of genres, something like Flow Festival later. Yeah, something like, there will be some metal bands. And those metal bands will have followers who don't consider themselves as metalheads. So I think that's something quite sweet and unique in Taiwan.
That's nice to hear. So you have been a politician, you're an artist. What, in your opinion, could politicians learn from artists what they would not maybe learn from elsewhere?
I believe this one is connect to the next one, and I think the next question.
Activists as
Yeah,
well.
activists. I think both things are the same thing.
Yeah.
Politicians and activists. Something I think especially metal musicians, can inspire you. That I believe most of the bands started with very small crowds, and I think most of the metalheads, most of the metal musicians, they didn't play music, create music because there is a success is guaranteed. No, they just like metal. They like the progress. They like to jam with the members. They like to just to play the music, listening to music, enjoy the music, and somehow your fan base, or let's call the audience, might grow, but some maybe not. But how you learn to enjoy the progress, and there might be setbacks as well. We all see some bands, they face some kind of setbacks because they change members, because they some different kind of the song composition direction are different, something like that. So there are some setbacks as well. So for politicians or activists, I think this is something maybe related to you as well, because you don't see a social change overnight. And you might be very angry about that. But if you try to learn from your metalhead fellows, they are still enjoying their music, even they are playing for smaller crowds. Yeah, that's something very unique. I don't know. I just say that I'm a hardcore fan of Anthrax. I feel so disappointed not seeing Anthrax playing Tuska this year. But I think many of you can remember that they even during the John Bush period, I appreciate their music as well. Even they play for smaller crowds. They came from the big arena shows to the club shows to the even smaller club shows. But I enjoy them, and I enjoy seeing them enjoying themselves. So even Joe Belladonna doesn't play the John Bush period of songs anymore. I play those songs still. I still click those old-time songs. So I do believe that I think my friends in politics or in the social movements, yeah, try to learn something from these metalheads. Enjoy your life and try to expand your influence. But sometimes even there are setbacks. Enjoy what you are doing right now.
Commitment and enjoy what you're doing. That's wonderful. The last question before we go into questions from the esteemed audience. What is the political situation now in Taiwan as China is becoming increasingly influential in global politics? You are heading for an important presidential election in 28, I understand.
Yeah. I think even in Finland, I think things are quite the same, that all the elections are very essential, very significant, are very important. And so I believe I have my own opinion on I have my own expectation of the outcome, of course. But I will say that each election demonstrates how Taiwan is an independent country, democratically ruled by its people, not ruled by China or other countries. So I personally cherish every elections, even sometimes outcomes not what I wished for, but it just demonstrates again and again that Taiwan is ruled by Taiwanese, nobody else. So for that, no matter what the outcome is, I think that's very important, and it shows our strength, how Taiwanese cherish the values of freedom and democracy. And the second thing is that I think, yeah, we can see that how China becomes more influential over the past few years, but also in the same time, how the world see Taiwan critical and important nowadays. And that's why Taiwan has been engaged internationally more than ever. Like what I have, the reason why I was posted here, not because the president knows that Finland is the capital of metal, right? Definitely not. But it's because they see the potential and the importance of the bilateral relations. So although our office is relatively smaller than the Chinese embassy, but we are expanding, and in the critical fields, sectors, we work closer and closer, Taiwan and Finland. And overall, the relations between Taiwan and European countries have stronger than ever before. So I think it's something very important that even China try to increase in their military threats toward Taiwan and increasing their influence internationally, but the international community also consider Taiwan being a very important role, and I'm also very privileged to witness this and to take part of this.
Thank you very much. Now let us move. Yes. Move the questions from the audience. Do you think we might see similar cultural approaches from Taiwan towards Europe elsewhere, as we have now seen you forge with Finland?
I think, yes, definitely, especially those countries who, because I'm a metalhead, so I would see that the countries who appreciate their own, they were being oppressed and they try to reveal, they try to show their roots, like the countries who have more folk metal or that family, those countries will see the parallels between them and Taiwan easily, because we all can see the similarity and the eager to show yourself and to protect your identities. So I believe that that's something. After I got here, we had our first Formosa Finland Fest. Taiwan was called Formosa, so we have Formosa Finland Fest last year. After it was a big success in Divistamo, and so after that, our neighboring countries, the Taiwanese embassies, thinking about to do that as well. So I definitely can see the parallels, not only between Taiwan and Finland, but also those countries at forefront.
Thank you. Will we see more CHTHONIC shows in Finland?
We are working on new material, and after we got some new material released here, I believe the member will feel the timing is more right, and then we will start to play hopefully in Helsinki. But let me remind you that actually we just signed with Svart Records.
Oh, it's Svart, another Finnish label. Excellent.
Yeah, to reissue the album that I said that didn't internationally released. That album in 2018 called Battlefields of Ashura. That one is another award-winning album in Taiwan. So they will reissue that on vinyl. So it's open for pre-order now. So if you want to know that what the politics experiences have inspired me and Jesse to write songs, that will be the one that you better have it. And then if you are in town on July 11th, are you in town on July 11th? Yes, some of you, yeah, that's good. On July 11th, there will be Formosa Finland Fest this year at Narinkatori.
Narinkatori.
In front of Kampi. Yeah. Although CHTHONIC will not play, but there will be many Taiwanese and Finnish bands playing in the festival, along with the Taiwanese street food. That's the first ever Taiwanese outdoor festival or fair in Finland ever. So since you declare your independence, there's no Taiwanese outdoor fair. There's Korean outdoor fairs, Japanese outdoor fairs, Chinese outdoor fairs, Thai, Vietnamese. But now, finally, after more than 100 years, now you have the first ever Taiwanese outdoor fair on July 11th. And I will be featured in a band, and they will rearrange some of the CHTHONIC classic songs with different arrangements. So hopefully you are there, you will enjoy the show.
That's wonderful.
Come before noon to grab some food.
Put it in your calendars. So what did Doris think of moving to Finland initially and now?
Maybe Doris, you want to come. There is a fan asked for your autograph actually outside. So yeah, you want to come to answer this question? Yeah, about how do you feel about now you have lived in Finland for 1 year? Fantastic.
Fantastic. Well, perfect. Perfect answer. Thank you. You mentioned many similarities between Taiwan and Finland. What are some interesting differences between the countries?
Definitely. I don't know how much time do we left. Okay.
There's a few good questions as well, so keep it brief.
Oh, okay, yeah. The way that how you handle the public service things. Asked me to call, and then asked me to send email, and then the email asked me to call, and then I call back, they asked me to send email. Yeah, that kind of things. I can't really. Then I decided to go to the bank and to confront the counter and to ask him personally.
Okay, service culture. So now that you are staying in Finland, do you often go to see Finnish metal bands live? What Finnish bands are your favorites? You mentioned some already, but
yeah,
the
one that I missed, and I hope that I will have time to see. There's no winter sound shows recently, right? No. Yeah, I hope to because I never been to their show. So Winter Song definitely.
As you would mark that as your favorite band, one of them here.
Yeah, and the Yali's voice is amazing, fascinating. He can sing all kinds of things, all kinds of shit.
Um, how does one leverage political power gained from public attention, being a noticeable musician without prior political experience? Key issues upon entry.
What do you mean? What does it mean?
Well, it's a bit of a complicated question, isn't it? If you have political power from being a public figure like a musician, how do you leverage it? I guess that means how do you make sure you use it in the right manner?
Yeah, I think as a metalhead, I don't see there is a privilege because yeah, that I can feel that how my competitor or how my previous MP despite me, and his supporters didn't really consider me serious. So as a metal, but that's a I think, but that's so fantastic that I won over him. So that's something very amazed people. But as a metalhead, that's why I always can feel the. I don't want to say feel the pain of the oppressed, but feel the feelings, the emotions of the not the majorities, because we want to establish a society embrace all kinds of culture to not let anybody behind. So that's what I'm trying to do. But there are some very popular singer in Taiwan who sang in our song Takao. That singer, we call him Guaong, king of the song. He's just like, yeah, he can win over all the elections. He was in the parliament as well, and he's the elder. And wherever he just made concerts one by one, and then to conquer every district that he was there. So I can see the leverage of him, but not me.
How long will you be staying in Finland?
Hopefully, at least I will stay here for 3 years. So I spent 1 year already, so 2 more years. And because I was assigned by our president, so if he got reelected in 2028, then I got 4 more years. So, but if he want to send me to some countries else, then I will move. But hopefully not, because I really enjoy what I'm experiencing here.
There's one very direct big question here. Are you worried that China might attack Taiwan?
This is not really a difficult question, because I think Finns, you feel the same thing. Yeah, you might worry about the attack from the other side, from your neighbor. Yeah, of course. I think Taiwanese worried about that too. That's why we try to learn, we try to strengthen our comprehensive security that you taught me. How we learn about it's not only our military's responsibility to protect the country. So we learned a lot over the past few years. In one hand, we try to support Ukraine as well. We donated a lot of resources and work with Poland to support Ukraine. And in the other hand, we learn a lot from Ukrainian as well. And the other thing is that we still want to have fun. So I always take pictures of Finnish to our Taiwanese friends, saying that even they are countering something massive in as their neighbor, but they are having fun. They are partying. So we should we should still cherish our life as well, like Finns.
What is the best album by Sentenced? Important.
I think you might not like it, but a mock. Can I say a mock? Or how do you pronounce it?
Amok, yeah.
Amok. Yeah, it's a little bit more popular. Yeah, compared to the previous one. Yeah, but I love it. Yeah, I play a lot.
Thank you very much. Let me see. I think that's all the time we have at the moment. So thank you very much, Freddy Lim, for taking the time from your busy schedule to come and share your unique experiences across politics and metal music. And we are very lucky and happy to have you in Finland and hope you will stay for many more years. And please enjoy the festival, Megadeth, and your cup of beer. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you on July 11th. Thank you.